Delta, stand by. Papa, Juliet, Papa, Papa, Tango, Delta, stand by. Papa, Juliet, Papa, Papa, Tango, Delta, stand by. Message follows. Papa, Juliet, Papa, Papa, Tango, Delta, Delta, November, Hotel, 4, Sierra, Tango, Delta, Foxtrot, India, Zulu, Lima, Delta, Oscar, X-ray, 4, Yankee, Oscar, uniform, Oscar, Yankee, uniform, whiskey, Lima, 4, I say again, Papa, Juliet, Papa, Papa, Tango, Delta, Delta, November, Hotel, 4, Sierra, Tango, Delta, Foxtrot, India, Zulu, Lima, Delta, Oscar, X-ray, 4, Yankee, Oscar, uniform, Oscar, Yankee, uniform, whiskey, Lima, 4. This is New Math out.
What's going on, guys? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. I hope everybody's having a good Monday. I was just playing an emergency action message. That's what that was. An emergency action message is a nuclear attack option that is broadcasted by the United States military to their nuclear forces, specifically the Ohio-class subs. What's going on? Lorna, Davis08, New York Adventurer, Get Prepared NY, Mr. Landfill, James Angel, Lee Billy, Parabellum Prepper, Mama of Six, Mindy, Allison Trace, Cats 1964. I hope you're doing well, Cats. So we have a lot of emergency news to share with you tonight. There's just so much news. I didn't even bother putting a title in because it's like there's just so many headlines, so I don't even know where to start. It's been just crazy today. So I want to just share with you some of the latest breaking news since my last update earlier this afternoon. What's going on, Cold War Prepper, Karen Mills, Jacqueline James, great to see you. Arn Olson, Matt Martin, Paul Hood, Eli's Mama, Amy Mrachkowski. So thank you guys for tuning in. And I think I'm just going to jump right into the news because it's Monday night and I'm sure a lot of you guys have to go to work tomorrow. So I don't want to waste too much time here. So I'm going to jump right into the news. So here we have a picture of the Russian nuclear bomber that flew towards Scotland and Denmark earlier today. There were actually two of them. So that's something I want to talk about. But right now, at this hour, we have 16 Russian bombers getting ready to launch missiles towards Ukraine. So that is huge news. Okay, so these bombers are getting ready to launch any minute now. The Ukrainian military said that I think it was 15 of the Russian bombers took off from various bases. I think it was like 14 Tupolev 95s and a Tupolev 160. Those are their primary nuclear bombers. So huge, just absolutely huge news. 16 bombers in the air right now, getting ready to launch on Ukraine. Okay, and then apparently there's also a naval vessel that's currently in the Black Sea getting ready to launch. So I'm hearing that there were 8 Tupolev 95s coming out of Olenia Air Base, which is up near Finland, and then 6 from Engels Air Base, which is kind of north of Stalingrad. And then a 1 Tu 160. The Tu 160 is Russia's supersonic bomber. It's a massive bomber. So that's very concerning. And so the Ukrainian military is saying that they're going to reach their launch points by 1:45 to 2:30 a.m. Ukrainian time, which is right around now. Ukraine is 6 hours ahead of me here in Pennsylvania. So they should be reaching their launch points right around now. And they're saying that missile impacts could start around 3 a.m. So that's going to be within the next 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. So looks like Russia is planning a massive attack at this hour. If things break, I'll definitely share it with you guys. I'm going to be checking the news, but that's very concerning. I mean, 16 of those bombers, guys, each one of those bombers can carry a dozen cruise missiles. Okay, so do the math. That's over 100 missiles that they could fire. Plus, they have one warship that's a missile carrier. In the Black Sea, it's the Admiral Makarov, and that one can fire Caliber missiles. And apparently, that one is in the Black Sea at the moment right now. Okay, so we could have a massive missile strike any minute now on Ukraine. And as that happens, I'll definitely share it with you guys. And if anybody out there is watching, if you get some breaking news, just share it in the chat. Because I'm going to be streaming, so I'm not going to be able to check the news. So if anything pops up, send me an email or text me or put it in the chat if things are popping off. But we could be looking at over 100 missile impacts tonight on Ukraine. The problem is with that is that Ukraine only has their Patriot missiles set up around the capital, and so because of that, the Patriot missiles, they have a short range, so they can only protect, a short range around where the launch vehicles are set up. So, if they're set up in Kyiv, the capital, they can only hit missiles that are going around Kyiv, in the immediate area. They can't intercept a missile that's going towards Odessa or to Lviv or somewhere else, the Russians are not stupid. They've adjusted their missile attacks, and what they've been doing is they've been hitting other cities in Ukraine that are not protected by the Patriot missiles. Okay, so they're targeting Odessa, Kherson, Lviv, Khmelnytsky, Rivne, all these cities that they can't protect. Okay, so very concerning. Things are really escalating, guys. In addition to this massive missile strike that's on the way right now, there was an absurd amount of emergency action messages this afternoon. There was a flurry. There was a flurry of emergency action messages. Someone said they launched the missile. Okay, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Share your source if you can. Share your source. Yeah, and don't keep repeating it. We see it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, in addition to all these missiles that are about to be fired, we had a crazy amount of emergency action messages today. I was just playing one for you when the stream started, and these are basically encrypted messages that go out to the submerged nuclear-armed submarines that the United States has, and they go out via low frequency, very low frequency. And the reason why they do very low frequency is that's the only way that they can penetrate the ocean. All right, so they send these messages out from the E6 Mercuries, okay, which are the nuclear war communications relay planes, and there were 3 of them up in the air today, and there was just a flurry of emergency action messages this afternoon. There were like, I don't know, 20 in like a matter of 2 or 3 hours. I mean, it was insane. So something is about to go down. Besides this missile strike, of course, we have tensions exploding between Poland and Belarus the last 2 weeks. A Belarusian helicopter literally violated Poland's airspace and flew into Poland. Okay, Belarus flew 2 helicopters into Polish airspace. I mean, that is crazy, guys. Okay, that would be like, imagine if Mexico flew their military helicopters into Arizona, or they flew into Texas, and they flew into Big Bend National Park, and they flew around and then came back. I mean, that's a serious thing, okay? And NATO didn't really do much about it. It was swept under the rug. Nobody really cared much. So it's a very concerning situation. Russia, I don't know if they finished their drills that they had in the Baltic Sea. They were doing live fire drills in the Baltic Sea, guys. Okay, literally right next to Poland and Lithuania and Latvia and Estonia and Sweden and Finland. They were literally doing live fire drills, okay, in the Baltic Sea. And then they were also test launching missiles into the Barents Sea, which is north of Scandinavia. That's all the way up near going up towards the Arctic Circle. Okay, and so we had today 2 Russian nuclear bombers that flew towards Denmark, and then they also flew towards Scotland. Okay, now what's interesting about these bombers is that when you read the original press release from Reuters, the way that they worded it made it sound like they actually flew into Danish airspace. The way that it was worded, I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying that the way that Reuters reported it was that these bombers actually flew into Danish airspace. They said that the bombers flew over Denmark, and then the Netherlands had to send their F-16s to intercept them. I guess because Denmark doesn't have enough of an air force, and then also the Netherlands, that's part of their job. Is the Netherlands has a nuclear sharing, and they have their F-16s that are specifically trained for delivering nuclear weapons and also for intercepting bombers. So the Netherlands had to dispatch their F-16s to intercept these bombers that flew towards Denmark. But in the original article, they said that these bombers actually flew over Denmark. So I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying that's what I noticed. If you read the original Reuters article. Let me see if I can actually pull it up for you. Let me pull this up for you guys so you can actually see. So this is the original Reuters article. Okay, just so you guys don't think I'm lying. Okay, here's Reuters. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me know if you can see this article. I'm sure you can. August 14th, 4:48 a.m., 13 hours ago, the Danish Air Force has intercepted 2 Russian bombers that were identified over Denmark and flying towards the area that the Netherlands monitors for the NATO military alliance, the Dutch Royal Air Force said on Monday. It added that Dutch F-16s were called into action Monday morning, but the Russian bombers were intercepted before they could enter Dutch NATO airspace and have now turned back. A spokesperson for the Dutch Royal Air Force said that planes are intercepted if they do not have a unique identifying code, did not provide a flight plan, and if there is no two-way communication. All right, so very interesting wording here. Okay, I'm going to read this to you again, and you can make up your own mind. The Danish Air Force has intercepted 2 Russian bombers that were identified over Denmark and flying towards the area that the Netherlands monitors for the NATO military alliance, the Dutch Royal Air Force said. Okay, and then it says here, the Russian bombers were intercepted before they could enter Dutch NATO airspace. It doesn't say before they could enter NATO airspace. It says Dutch NATO airspace. So it's a little bit weird, this wording. So I don't know what to believe, guys. I really don't. And something's fishy about this. And then what else? There was something else. I just forgot. I lost my train of thought. There's just so much going on. It's hard for me to remember everything. And then they said, so initially they said it was 2 Russian bombers. And now they're saying that, these weren't bombers. These were communications relay planes. You know, they're trying to like change the story around. And it reminds me a lot of when that missile landed in Poland and killed the farmers. And they were immediately saying that, this was a Ukrainian air defense missile. You know, they changed their tune. So it's a little bit weird. It's a weird situation. But in addition to this, just a ton of emergency action messages, a ton of doomsday planes. There was a presidential doomsday plane that was scrambled in the afternoon. I'm going to see if I can get the flight path here for you guys. Let me see here. Let me get that flight path for you. If you missed my update earlier, so this was like late morning around noontime. We had a P-8 Poseidon and an E-4B Nightwatch presidential doomsday plane take off from the DC area at the same time, and the P-8 Poseidon was following the doomsday plane all the way to Alabama, and then once they got over the Alabama state line, the P-8 went all the way down to the Texas Gulf Coast, and it was patrolling the area off of Houston down in here. And then the E-4B Nightwatch presidential doomsday plane hooked to the northwest and landed in Offutt Air Base. So it almost looks like they wanted to take it out to sea. And then at the last minute, they changed their mind and said, okay, I'm going to land in Offutt. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. It was just very strange. So, and it wasn't just the P-8 Poseidon, which is a sub-hunter plane. These planes can detect submarines in the water. They have special sono buoys that they drop onto the water that can use sonar to detect submarines, and they can also fire missiles down into the water to take them out. And so it looked like when I was really freaked out when I saw this, and that's why I put out that alert in the afternoon, because it was really strange how a P-8 would take off at the same time as a doomsday plane. And then also there was an E-6 Mercury communications relay command and control for the nuclear forces. They all took off at the same time. And I really thought that something was about to go down and they were going to head out to sea with that doomsday plane. That's why the P-8 accompanied it. But it was just really strange situation. And then at the same time as this, We had a flurry of emergency action messages. And in addition to that, last night, okay, in addition to all of this, okay, everything going on with Poland, Russia about to fire a bunch of missiles now, the bomber planes going to Scotland and Denmark. In addition to all of that, okay, we had 4 Russian military aircraft that flew into the Alaskan ADIZ last night, okay, overnight. The ADIZ is the Air Defense Identification Zone, okay. NORAD detected and tracked 4 Russian military aircraft operating in the Alaskan ADIZ late August 13 and early morning August 14. Okay, so that was overnight. 4 Russian military aircraft. And if you remember, what was it, a week ago, when the Russians sent a massive Navy flotilla to the border, all the way to Alaska, and then they turned around and came back. They went all the way to our coastal boundary or whatever, our coastal waters. They took their flotilla. It was like 8 or 10. I think it was 8 Russian Navy vessels, the largest ever flotilla that they've ever sent to the U.S. So something's going on, guys. Okay. I mean, you can say that this is routine. You can say that this is training. If that makes you feel better, by all means, if that helps you sleep at night, you can say that to yourself, but something is going on it's not training and it's not routine. Okay. And then all the exercises that Russia's doing, the live fire drills in the Baltic Sea, literally right next to Poland and the Baltic countries, firing missiles right there in their backyard. Okay. In addition to that, we had this mine, a sea mine that went off right off of the Romanian coastline. Okay, literally like 200 yards from the beach, a mine exploded. Okay, nobody knows whose mine it is. Is it a Russian mine? Is it a Ukrainian mine? Was it an accident? Was it intentional? Then Russia boarded that ship. They directed fire at this cargo ship the other day, because the cargo ship refused to get boarded by the Russian Navy. And so they used automatic fire to stop it. And they didn't shoot at the boat itself, but they fired somewhere close by warning shots so it would stop. And then they boarded it and inspected it. So tensions are ratcheting up, guys. Okay, things are just going crazy right now. And that's why I did this live stream. I wasn't planning on doing a live stream tonight. I really wasn't. I was going to relax, load up some ammo, do some hand loading, go to the gym, relax, chill out, and have a good night, maybe drink a glass of wine. But I wanted to do this stream because it's just so much going on. And I'm really concerned with all these emergency action messages and Russia sending those planes to our ADIZ in Alaska. I mean, that is just crazy, guys. Okay, massive flotilla last week, and then all these bombers that are they're about to fire on Ukraine. So it's a very serious situation, guys. Very, very serious situation. My favorite wine, by the way, is I like sweet red wine, and there's a lot of good local wineries here in Pennsylvania. We have some awesome wineries, and they make like blueberry wine. Oh man, it's so good. We have like a local winery here that makes blueberry wine. They make various types of red wines, and then various sangrias. I really like sangria, especially in the summer with a couple of ice cubes. Man, that's some good stuff. Hopefully I'll have some after the stream, but let me just share something with you guys here. Here we have some of those Typhoon fighter jets that Britain dispatched to intercept the Russian bombers. Okay, they flew over northern Scotland. You can see 3 of these Typhoon fighter jets that were sent out. Okay, flying over northern Scotland. For those of you guys who don't know, Britain has a major base in Scotland. On the western side of Scotland is where Britain has all of their nuclear submarines. Okay, their nuclear armed submarines are all not too far from Glasgow. Okay, so that would be a major target if there's a nuclear war. Russia would want to hit that base. It's just like northwest of Glasgow. And if you're interested in all the nuclear war targets in Europe, you can check out my website, NYPrepper.com. I did an article and I have a map showing all the major targets in Europe if there's a nuclear war, and I explained everything. It's all in there if you're interested. I did a video on it too. But there is a massive base there, probably the most important base in Britain, just right next to Glasgow. So Russia would definitely want to take that base out and neutralize it in a nuclear war. Let me just share some other stuff here with you guys. Let's see. I'm going to read. This article is coming from the Defense Ministry of the Netherlands. So this is an official source. Okay, so we're going to contrast this to what Reuters reported. Now, Reuters reported this at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, the Reuters article was like 4:45 in the morning, and then the Netherlands put out this article at 10:01. So a couple hours later, so they might have had time to change their story so it doesn't look as bad. So let me read to you what the Netherlands said. 2 Air Force F-16s took off this morning to intercept 2 Russian bombers. These flew towards Dutch airspace. The deployment of the fighter aircraft involved a so-called quick reaction alert. The Russian Bears were intercepted by the Danes. The bombers have now turned back. The Dutch F-16s remained ready to guard the Dutch area of responsibility. The aircraft have now landed at Volkel Air Base. Volkel Air Base is a major NATO base that would be a massive nuclear war target. The QRA was announced this morning at 7:19 a.m. This doesn't happen often, but today's incident demonstrates the importance of rapid deployment. The F-16s are on standby 24 hours a day and can take off within minutes and intercept an unidentified aircraft. So they said right here, this doesn't happen often. Okay, there was a lot of trolls out there saying, "Oh, this is normal. This happens all the time." Yeah, Russia's flying bomber planes to Denmark and Scotland every day, right? That's normal, right? They fly there every day. Yeah, BS. The Netherlands and Belgium take on these tasks alternately for a number of months. They not only monitor Dutch airspace, but that of the entire Benelux. Not sure what that is. I'm guessing that's like Luxembourg and Belgium and Netherlands, that whole area. The Netherlands has been back in charge of this task since mid-April. So that's what the Netherlands is saying here, okay, that these were Russian Bears, okay, presumably the Bear bombers, Tu-95s. So this is a serious situation, guys, and we have to just make sure we're getting prepared as much as possible. I cannot stress to you guys how important it is right now to stockpile as much as possible before the panic starts, because if there's an incident in Europe, in the European theater, if Poland goes to war with Wagner and Belarus, people are going to panic. They're going to buy up all the ammunition again. They're going to buy up freeze-dried food again. So get everything you need now if you have the funds for it, okay? Jacqueline James, thank you for the donation. If you don't take this info seriously, then leave. A lot of work goes into providing this info. No hating here. Thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, people think that you just turn the camera on and start talking. You have to plan everything out ahead of time and figure out what you're going to say. I mean, it can take a couple of hours. It took me probably a few hours to prepare for this stream. Brent Turin, thank you for joining the channel membership here. Thank you very much. I do plan to do some members only stuff. very soon. Mama of Six, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. Thank you very much. So, just crazy situation. I don't know if anybody's hearing anything about the missiles, if they fired them yet. Lorna, I don't know if you had a chance to check your sources, if you're hearing anything about any missiles being launched or any impacts occurring right now. If you could let me know or let the chat know when you get a chance. If Poland is invaded, then a lot of people will panic buy. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's what I'm concerned about. Panic buying and then obviously nuclear war. I mean, that's a real concern. It sounds crazy, but it could happen. And, the Bible says that it's going to happen. So, Lee Billy, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Thank you. Kilo Charlie 5 says, thanks for all you do. No problem, man. Thank you very much for your support, your kind words. Lorna says, first group of Tu-95s are approaching Saratov. Okay, so they still haven't fired anything yet. Bradley Moore says, not hearing anything at this stage. Okay, we still may have another, it could be any minute now, next 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour. Hopefully they don't fire anything, but I would really doubt that they would dispatch 15 bombers just for the fun of it. I highly doubt that they would just, we're going to dispatch 10 or 15 bombers tonight, and go to their launch points just for the fun of it. I highly doubt that. So I have a bad feeling Russia's going to launch a massive attack tonight with all those bombers. And they're going to hit areas that Ukraine can't defend with their Patriot missiles. So here we have E6 Mercury that was in the air in the afternoon. This was like late afternoon, I think like probably, I would say almost 5 o'clock. Well, actually, here we have the timestamp 21:07 UTC time. So, if you want to do the math, what is that? Is that a 5-hour difference? I think it is. So that would be, what is that, 16? So that would be 4 o'clock. Yeah, so that was at 4 o'clock. So I was dead on, yeah. So around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we had an E6. This is the third E6 that was in the air today, in addition to the presidential Doomsday plane. Let me show you. We also had a B-52. I almost forgot about that. So this one was in the air, and then it went out to the Pacific. And when it went out to the Pacific, it either turned its transponder off or there was no reception to pick it up anymore, because once you go all the way out to the ocean, there's no receivers there that can track the planes, for the flight tracker. So it went out into the Pacific around 5 o'clock, and I haven't seen it re-enter yet. So it's probably still out there right now. And then we had, right before that one, we had a B-52 in the air. Okay, B-52 Strato Fortress. I don't know where it took off from, but it turned its transponder on near Colorado, and it landed in Shreveport, Barksdale. Barksdale is the home of Air Force Global Strike Command, which is where the U.S. Air Force commands the entire air leg of the nuclear triad. So there was a B-52 in the air as well. So a lot of activity, guys. A lot of activity. We also had this aerial refueler that was flying far out in the Atlantic, way past the continental shelf, probably about 300 or 400 miles out to sea, and it was flying out here. This was also, you could see the timestamp 22:39, so around like 5:30 or so. It was out there, and then it came back and landed. Very, very strange. Okay. Not sure what it was refueling out there. I don't know. Maybe Doomsday planes, maybe sub hunters, maybe, who knows? Very strange. Okay. Let me share this article with you guys from Romania. There was a sea mine that exploded in Costanesti. Okay, a huge sea mine exploded We don't know if it was an accident. We don't know if it was a provocation by Russia. But this is very serious, and I have a bad feeling that the situation in the Black Sea is just continuing to escalate. I mean, we had Russia firing warning shots at at the cargo ship. They already took down and two American drones, or one in the Black Sea. They already took one down, and then they also fired at an RC-135 when the U.S. sends or NATO, when they send the RC-135s into the Black Sea, they have to be escorted now because Russia fired on one of the RC-135s. So, this is and then they had that missile strike on Ukraine that literally damaged Romanian cargo ships that were in port. Okay. So Russia treats the Black Sea as if it's their internal lake, like as if the Black Sea is like Lake Superior or Lake Michigan or something. It's not. It's international waters, but they're treating it as if it's their lake, and they're bullying everybody. They're inspecting vessels. They're firing at, American reconnaissance planes. I mean, there was I was actually a British RC-135 reconnaissance plane that was fired at, okay, by the Russian Air Force. This was months ago, okay? And so, the chances of some bad incident happening are very high, in my opinion, in the Black Sea region. And then now we have this mine that explodes right off the coast of Romania. I mean, there were Romanian people there on the beach. What if it, if people died? I mean, that would be bad. Romania would be pissed off, and that could cause an escalation, a war, some kind of retaliation by NATO, possibly. I mean, it's just things are just continuing to escalate on all fronts. So just get prepared, guys. Try to get prepared as best as possible. Don't stop preparing. I'm continuing to prepare. I'm reevaluating certain things. I'm redoing some bug out bags, and go out there and practice your skills too. If you haven't practiced your skills in a while, whatever that is, if you haven't worked out in a while, if you haven't, done a lot of cardio in a while, if you haven't gone to the range and shot your firearms in a while, if you haven't tested your bug out bag in a while and gone on a practice bug out, your survival skills, fire starting, whatever it is, if you haven't done it in a while, now's the time to do that and brush that dust off, and get back in the game if you haven't done it in a while, because I just have a bad feeling something is going to happen soon. Things are just crazy escalation. All right, we have some major breaking news coming from Lorna, our moderator here. The Tu-95 bombers have just launched numerous X-101 missiles from over the Caspian Sea headed towards Ukraine. So that's an emergency alert, breaking news. Russian bombers have launched numerous X-101 cruise missiles towards Ukraine. About 15 of them from 15 bombers. Okay, 15 bombers. We don't know how many missiles, but they've already launched, and they're heading towards Ukraine as we speak. So if you're in Ukraine and you're watching me from Ukraine, you better make sure you head to a shelter right now. Okay, go into a basement. If you have a basement in your building, if you're in an apartment, go down to the basement. If not, find a metro station or a subway station and go down there. Absolutely insane. So, and just so you guys know, these Russian bombers that they use to launch these missile strikes on Ukraine, they're actually nuclear capable, and the missiles that they use to launch on Ukraine are actually designed for delivering nuclear warheads, okay? So they just put a conventional warhead on these missiles, but they could easily swap that conventional warhead out for a nuclear warhead if they so choose. And they already have so much practice with these missile strikes. I mean, they're constantly striking Ukraine for the last year. So they've got plenty of practice. They have everything in place. The only thing they need to do is swap the warhead and change it to a nuclear one. So that's what really worries me, guys, is one of these days when we get the news that, oh, Russian bombers are heading out to their launch points. What if one of these days they have nuclear warheads on them? That's what I'm really worried about. The Russian ruble is collapsing. Russia tomorrow is going to have an emergency meeting with their central bank. The Russian ruble is crashing. It's the lowest it's been since since the start of the war. Okay, let me just show you guys. Okay, and there was a lot of trolls in one of my last videos. I was showing this graph here, and there was all these trolls saying, "Oh, that's from Google. How can you trust Google?" Well, look, tomorrow the Russian central bank is having an emergency meeting, so obviously this is right, and something is going on with their currency, because you can see specifically in the last 2 weeks it dropped dramatically. Look at this, okay? Look, in the last 2 weeks since July 31st, it just went straight down. And if we go back to the last year, okay, the last year, you can see it's been steadily going down, but literally the last 2 weeks, it's just straight down drop. I mean, just straight down, okay? And then if we go back the last 5 years, you can see this big dip over here. Okay, this dip was right after they started the war. You can see March 11th, 2022, 2 weeks after they invaded. And then it shot back up. By June 24th, it was at its peak. And now it's been steadily going down, but look at how it's been crashing for the last month or so. I mean, it's just like straight down drop. Okay, and I'm not sure if the Russian central bank is going to be able to do anything about that. I mean, there's only so much a central bank can do. There's only so much they can cut rates. There's only so much money they can print. It's just, they're just patching holes. It's like you're in a boat and the boat has holes in it, and you're slapping duct tape on the holes. The duct tape's not going to hold forever. Okay, eventually the boat is going to sink. So it's a bad situation economically for Russia, and that could pressure Putin to do something crazy. Whether it's attack the Baltics, attack Poland, attack Romania. I mean, just anything is possible. So I'm sorry to scare you guys. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just thinking about all the possibilities here. It's really alarming. I'm trying not to get so negative here, but it's things are just really really escalating now. So I'm going to just count off some of these emergency action messages. I think we had at least like 30 or 40 today. Let me just count these here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 37 emergency action messages, and there were several long messages. There were I think five or six of these 142 character messages that were repeated multiple times, which is very unusual. Most of the time these messages are like 30 to 40 characters, but they had several messages that were 142 characters long. Okay, several of them. All right, so I'll just let me see if I can actually play one of these long messages here. But they just read off different letters and numbers. They're alphanumeric, so they're coded messages. They're encrypted. Okay, they're encrypted, and they read them off. So this way, they send out a secret code basically, and the submarines, they know what that means. They have a book that shows what everything means, and they're able to understand. So let me actually just read this article to you about Romania. I got sidetracked here. There is a lot of black smoke. There are still tourists in the water. A witness to the explosion in the Costanesti Dike area told what he saw. All right, and here's a picture here. A strong explosion took place on Monday in the area of the pier in front of the Forum Hotel in Costanesti. In the area of Costanesti, where a strong explosion took place, there are policemen and firefighters trying to isolate the area. The incident occurred approximately 300 meters from the beach area, where there are still tourists in the water, a witness who was on the hotel terrace told Digi24. A strong explosion took place, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. From the first data, it would be a marine mine. The intervention teams are on the alert, especially since they may have detected a second mine, which is still floating. Jan Papa, a witness who was on the hotel terrace, told Digi24 what he saw. I was on the hotel terrace. I saw a lot of black smoke. It's just repeating the same thing over and over. There are still tourists where the beach is. The sea is very rough, said the man. So very concerning, guys. Very concerning stuff here. And here we have the radiation sensors at the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. They were all shut down. There was one left on, and they were all turned off over the weekend. And now there's one miraculously turned back on, but I don't trust it. I mean, this is not a true sensor. What this is the data that Russia is giving to the UN. Okay, so Russia has those sensors under their control, and the actual sensors, we don't know what they are. However, I mean, Ukraine has a bunch of sensors right across the river, so if there is any spike in radiation, these sensors here, like in Nikopol, for instance, they would easily pick anything up. And these numbers look very high, but these are in nanosieverts. So nanosieverts is extremely small. The best way I can think of it is like a nanosecond. If you have like 10,000 nanoseconds, it sounds like a lot, right? Oh yeah, 10,000 nanoseconds. That's such a big number, but it's really not. I don't know what that would be, but I'm just giving you an example. So these numbers would have to be like 100,000 for it to really be something serious. Right now, they're just like 150, 114. So that's pretty low, but you would need at least like 50,000 to 100,000 on these numbers here before I would be concerned. Before there's any kind of big radiation. And if we zoom out, we can see there's not much radiation going on right now across Ukraine, except, of course, up here near Chernobyl. And even Chernobyl, they're only at like 7,000. You can see Chernobyl here, 7,632. Okay, these are nanosieverts, okay? So that's a very small unit of measure. And I'm not going to get into it now, what that means and how much it is, but it's very small. Even 10,000 nanosieverts is nothing. That's like the same dose of radiation you get flying on a plane. So I'm not worried about that. So these numbers would have to be like at least 50,000 plus before there would be any kind of serious effects and before I would really start to get concerned. So that's good news that it's quiet there. But we still have just crazy, a lot of stuff going on. It's just so much. I think I pretty much covered a lot of it. Let's see what else here. just see what you guys are saying in the chat. Maggie K says explosions on the Kyiv camera, multiple just now in Kyiv. Okay. Very sad, guys. Keep the Ukrainian people in your prayers. Keep the Ukrainian people in your prayers. It looks like we're having missiles going off in or landing right now in Ukraine. So what's going on, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival? I hope you're doing well. Everybody check out Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. He's got a great channel. He's a good buddy of mine, and we've done a lot of collaborations, and we're going to continue to work on our fictional nuclear war survival series. Valkyrie 594 says it would be great if Greg could pull a group of vets to get a plan for our area, PA, NY, VA, West VA. Yeah, that would be cool. I do have some other preppers in Ohio and New York, like Vision Preparedness is in Ohio. We have Hudson Valley Prepping in upstate New York. There's a bunch of preppers here in PA as well that I know. So yeah, I'll try to get something going. I'll try to get something going. Likewise, Hudson Valley, miss you too, man. It was awesome when we lived close together. That was awesome. I miss the area over there, by the way. I do miss it there. I haven't had a chance to go so far this year because I've just been so busy, but hopefully I can make it there and visit the area soon. Let me see. What else do we have? I'm just going to check. I have some other stuff here I want to share. Hold on. Just going to see if I can. I want you guys to listen to one of these emergency action messages from today. So for those of you guys just tuning in, we had almost 40 emergency action messages today, which is a lot. We had multiple Doomsday planes in the air. We had Russian bombers flying towards Denmark and Scotland, potentially one flying over Denmark itself. We had 4 Russian aircraft flying to Alaska's ADIZ overnight. Just crazy stuff going on. Let me see if I can open this sound clip for you. I'm just gonna play this. You may want to turn your volume down just a touch because it might be loud when I turn the sound on. So let's just play this. One sec here.
All stations. This is new mass, break. Juliet, Charlie, Hotel, Romeo, Kilo, 2, stand by.
So this is just somebody reading off the coded message, 142 characters long. These are normally like 30 characters. So very unusual to have like a few of these today. I mean, something is going on, guys. I'm telling you, something is going on, and I think any day now something could pop off.
Juliet, Charlie, Hotel, Romeo, Kilo, 2, stand by. Juliet, Charlie, Hotel, Romeo, Kilo, 2, stand by. Message of...
Let me see. Lorna says cruise missiles flying towards the Poltava direction. Okay, they're flying from Poltava. That's good to know. Yeah, so that's weird that they would go after Poltava. Julie Pilkerton says, I've watched before but never subscribed. Hello from Bucks County. Okay, Bucks County, that's all the way down by Philly. Thanks for subscribing. Yellow King says it's getting real. So we have missiles inbound towards Ukraine right now. Unfortunately, let me see if I can check and see what's going on here. Yeah, we currently have air raid sirens. Currently have air raid sirens going off in Ukraine. Let me see if I can get the air raid map up. Yeah, it's looking like a very serious missile strike on the way. Very serious situation, guys. Keep Ukrainian people in your prayers. Wow, it's probably going to be 100 missiles, I think, that are gonna impact. Let me see. I'm just checking some sources here to see if there's any what the latest information is. Let me see. We currently have excessive heat warnings continuing across the Gulf Coast, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. The Pacific Northwest also has excessive heat warnings. Temperatures over 100 degrees with very high humidity. There was a new aid package today that was announced, $200 million for Ukraine, additional HIMARS rockets, additional Patriot missile munitions, Patriot missiles, basically, mine clearing equipment, artillery rounds, tank ammo, TOW missiles, which are the anti-tank missiles, javelins, 37 tactical vehicles, 58 water trailers, 12 million rounds of small arms ammo and grenades, demolitions, munitions for obstacle clearing, spare parts, maintenance, and other field equipment. So $200 million, and Biden is trying to secure an emergency package. He's trying to secure that right now too. So yeah, it's not looking too good, guys. Things are just really skyrocketing. Things are just getting crazy. I think all of Ukraine is lit up right now with air raids. Hudson Valley says deep behind enemy lines in the People's Republic of New Yorkistan. Hopefully we can liberate you soon. Lorna saying that there's currently a missile alert in Sumy, Poltava, and the eastern regions of Ukraine. So, yeah, lots of missiles are about to land in Ukraine, it seems like. Just absolutely crazy situation. Yeah, there is a full air raid right now across all of Ukraine. There's a whole air raid across the entire country right now in Ukraine. I'm trying to find information now about these missiles. Trying to find information here. Hold on. Let me check here. Yeah, so that's all the latest breaking news. We're just watching and seeing what's going to happen with this missile strike. There's apparently 15 Russian bombers that have fired missiles at Ukraine. So we're just waiting to see what happens here. And we have air raid alerts across all of Ukraine now. The whole country is lit up. The entire country is lit up right now. They fired these missiles from the Caspian Sea. This is being confirmed by the Ukrainian military. The central regions are in danger of missiles. Air Force of the Ukrainian Army or Ukrainian Armed Forces. We have Serhiy Popko. He's the head of the Kyiv City Military Administration, is saying that there's cruise missiles inbound to Kyiv. Get to your shelters immediately. Kherson, Mykolaiv, Odessa, Sumy, Poltava, eastern regions. Launch of cruise missiles from Tu-95 MS strategic bombers from the Caspian Sea. So they might already be landing as we speak right now. I just had to ban someone. Someone was dissing one of my mods. I just banned some guy here. Quacklin says, "Hey Greg, Chihuahua News here with my personal YouTube account. Thanks for keeping us updated. If only we could find a way to hit those bombers when they reach their launch points." Yeah, that's the problem, is that, we just keep letting them launch all these missiles. Do I have any info on the Kerch Bridge? Yeah, I heard that the Kerch Bridge has been shut down in the last day or so. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah, the Kerch Bridge has been shut down for some unknown reason. Why, I'm not too sure. But the Kerch Bridge has been shut down. I'm assuming because of the failed missile strike by Ukraine, that Ukraine launched the S-200s a few days ago. So I'm assuming that's why they shut the bridge. But as far as I know, there's no threats to the bridge at the moment. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival says, BRB got to share this live stream. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And next time I go to your area, we got to meet up and hang out for a little bit. When you get a chance, if you have time, next time I'm in the area. Let's see here. What's the status of the ZNPP? As far as I know, the ZNPP is stable at the moment. They had a steam and water leak a few days ago. ZNPP is that giant nuclear plant in Ukraine, one of the largest in the world. They had a steam and water leak a few days ago. I don't know what the status is now, but that's pretty concerning. So, New York Adventurer says you both definitely should. Hudson Valley Prepping says absolutely need a brainstorming session. Yeah, we definitely do. I'm going to try to go there in the fall time sometime. Sometime in the fall. Maybe we can get together. So, what's going on, Sons of Liberty? I'm in Minnesota. I don't think any sirens are going off, but I can almost hear them in the background. What sirens are you referring to in Minnesota? check out Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. He works really hard for his YouTube channel. He's a very down to earth guy and someone you can trust. You know, I know the guy personally. He's definitely someone you can trust, and check out his channel. He's definitely one to follow. He's got really good live streams. He does a variety of different things on his streams. And he's also doing the fictional nuclear war survival series with me. He's got his own spin-off of it. He goes live every Tuesday and Wednesday at 7:30. So tomorrow and Wednesday at 7:30 is when he goes live. He does everything, whatever, breaking news, prepping stuff. He covers it all. If you're interested in tipping me, I have a PayPal account, Hudson Valley Prepping. Put it in the chat. I'll pin it. The nice thing about PayPal is they don't take 30% like YouTube. YouTube takes 30% of donations. So, if you have like a large donation, they're going to take a good chunk of that away. So there's my PayPal. If you're interested in donating, I could certainly use the support. If you don't want to donate, that's okay too. I'm okay with that as well. Don't feel obligated. Forgiven Disciple says, Greg, you're a good dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try. I'm not perfect, I have my weaknesses, so but I try to do the best I can in most situations. Everybody has their flaws. Someone said they just heard 2 large explosions on a live feed. Okay. Let me just share something with you guys here. I'm going to be reviewing some products from Alpha Omega Survival Supply. And this guy has EMP bags that are like Cordura. So they're made of Cordura, which is like a really tough fabric. And you can put your electronics in these bags and put them in your bug out bag. Like here, he actually did a whole review of his bags. So let me just show you what they look like here. I'm going to do a review and I'll show you guys. But here's what they look like. Okay, and these are excellent. You can put your ham radios in there, your radiation dosimeters, your cell phone, electronic optics like thermal optics you can put in there so they don't get affected by an EMP, and you can keep them in your bug out bag. And they're much tougher than Mylar. And he uses like a special fabric inside of the Cordura. It's like a weaved fabric that's specifically designed for EMP protection. I forget the name of it, but it's like an interwoven fabric of some kind. I don't know the material, but I'm sure it's some kind of metallic material for it to stop an EMP. And then he puts that, sandwiches Cordura around it. So this way it's durable, and it's not going to mess up like Mylar. Mylar can rip it, it gets messed up. I have Mylar EMP bags and they get messed up after a little while in your bug out bag. They get wrinkled and stuff. So this is an excellent option. I don't know how much he's charging. I'm going to do a full review, but if you're interested, he's got an email. You can email him here. Let me share this email with you. If you're interested, it's Alpha Omega Survival Supply at gmail.com. Okay. So check him out. He's a small business. He's a prepper. He's a patriot. He's a down to earth guy. I always like to support people like that. We need to support each other. So I'm checking to see if there's any information here on these missiles inbound for Ukraine. Powerful explosions in Dnipro. Yeah, it's a Faraday bag. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Faraday bag, EMP bag. Oklahoma Homesteading is asking if I have live feeds like KLW. Yeah, I've done live feeds like KLW. I haven't done them recently because I'm more busier now with my life, so I don't have time to do them. But if it's something very serious, then I do go live. Like tonight, I went live. And if it's something like extended, like when Wagner was, going after Moscow, I was live like 2 days straight. But I don't do like round the clock every day like KLW. I don't do that. I only do that if something is popping off. Then I do that. UEFA3, thank you for the support. I appreciate that very much. Is it hard to date as a prepper? I did not tell my wife when we were dating. She reluctantly has got into it, but I do most of the prepping. I honestly, when I was dating, I never really talked about it much. I didn't never really saw a need to. So that was just something that didn't really come up until later on. Like, once you spend time with someone, then they realize, oh, he's got a lot of firearms, he's got boxes of ammo everywhere, he's got stacks of canned beef and stuff. Then it comes up, and obviously eventually someone's going to find out. But I don't know, I guess I never really had an issue. I'm not dating now, so I can't tell you now. I'm not single at the moment, so I can't tell you that now. But I never really noticed that. Season Claims says you don't want the woman you're courting to know you're a cuckoo before she says yes. That's true. That's funny. Yeah, very true. Someone's saying powerful explosions now in Ukraine. Check out my Patreon. That's another way you can support me. And I post a lot of stuff on Patreon that I don't post here. I'm going to actually migrate from Patreon to my website. So everything that I'm doing on Patreon, I'm going to do that on my website. I'm looking to do that in September. So I'm going to shut my Patreon down probably September, at the latest October. And then I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing on Patreon, but I'm going to try to do it on my website. We'll see. I have to see how much that's going to cost, uploading videos to my website. It might be more expensive to do that. I have to see. But I think I want to do it directly through my website. This way I can have full control over everything, and so that's what I'm looking to do. But basically on Patreon, I just, like today, when this was going on with the Doomsday planes in the air, I was able to post and let my followers over there know that there's Doomsday planes in the air. I could make a quick post, and I shared the screenshots, and I do things like that on Patreon. So, and then if I upload all my emergency alerts, go to Patreon first before I upload them to YouTube. So you'll have a little bit of a head start. Lorna says, breaking news, multiple missiles have reportedly headed towards the capital of Ukraine. Thank you, Lorna. What's going on, God's soldiers? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to see you in here. I appreciate you stopping by. Matthew Smith has been a member for over a year. Is that right? I didn't know I had memberships for that long. Man, time flies. Is that right? Let's see here. What else are you guys saying? SC Patriot Girl, what's going on? Thanks for doing the live stream. It's very much appreciated. No problem. I like hanging out with you guys. It kind of breaks up the week a little bit. It's makes things more interesting. Yeah, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up button. It definitely helps the algorithm. So let me see if there's anything else here. Oh, I wanted to share this video with you. This is coming from Poland. So the Polish security service today captured two Russian agents that were going around and putting Wagner stickers around Warsaw and Krakow in Poland. Those are major cities. Warsaw is the capital, and they were putting these Wagner stickers that said "Join us." And so the Polish police, they were able to find these guys. I don't know how, probably with the security cameras, they were able to watch them, put the stickers around. But they were going around and putting these Wagner stickers across the city, trying to get people to join Wagner in Poland. And here's a video of actually one of the guys that was putting these stickers getting captured. What it looks like a Polish policeman from his body camera. Let me just play this for you. It's pretty interesting. Or like one of the stickers you can see, and he's running after the guy. The guy's down there. I think it's this guy right here with this. I think it's this guy right here. So this guy was walking around putting stickers up. Putting stickers up in, or maybe it wasn't a policeman. Looks like it might have just been a civilian, Polish civilian that saw him, and he filmed him so they could get a picture of him. But he was putting this Wagner sticker on a trash can. You see the Wagner sticker here. It says, we are here, join us. So the guy was going around putting these stickers up, and there's looks like a QR code there. And so he runs and he films the guy putting the stickers up. But they captured two guys. I'm sure it's more than two guys. I'm sure it's like a whole ring. I highly doubt that it's just two guys going around putting these stickers up. I'm sure it's probably a big operation. They probably have dozens of people walking around these cities in Poland putting stickers everywhere. I'm sure it's probably a whole ring. So hopefully they'll be able to bust the other ones. But it's pretty crazy to see that, in Poland of all places. It's pretty interesting. So here's a picture of the guy. That's what he looks like. He just has that look like he knows that he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He tries to act all calm, like he didn't do anything, you see. But you could see that he knows that he got caught. He got busted with his hand in the cookie jar. So pretty crazy. Let's see. Going to see if there's any more news on the missiles going to Kyiv right now. Looks like a husky paper boy. That's funny. Don't forget to Faraday bag your media plus readout device plus a reliable charging method. If possible, disconnect or remove the battery as well. If lithium, wrap up, then put it in the bag. That's a good idea. Yeah, separate the battery from the device. That's a smart idea. The Doomsday plane called the Poseidon. It's up flying over Scotland right now, tracking it on flight radar. Oh, Poseidon is not a Doomsday plane. It's just a sub hunter plane. It's not a Doomsday plane. Lorna says the air raid alert is associated with the launch of X-101 and 555 cruise missiles from Tu-95 MS strategic bombers from the Caspian Sea. Yeah, that's not looking good. British Perspective said just heard four booms on camera. Lee Billy says I have a solar charger and a crank radio and flashlight. That's really good. It's good to have both of those. Very good. Tu-22 bombers now airborne from Solti Airfield. Wow, so there's more bombers joining now. Looks like, I'm guessing, an additional, because the original bombers that took off, the Tu-22 bombers, those are new, right? That's in addition to the Tu. in addition to the Tu-95s, there were 14 Tu-95s, one Tu-160, and now there's Tu-22s. So they're sending out more. That's very concerning. Two Tu-22 M3 call signs activated. Wow. So it looks like they're sending more bombers, two more bombers they're sending out, the Tu-22s from Soltse Airfield. So that's the total of 17 bombers now. Wow. Um, so yeah, it looks like these missiles should be landing soon. Very sad situation, guys. Very sad. Very sad situation. Can Poland lock him up for life? I don't know if they can lock him up for life. They can definitely do something. I mean, Poland is pretty strict when it comes to things like that. They don't mess around. In Poland, you can go to jail for 6 months if you burn the Polish flag. There's a very strict law when it comes to desecrating the Polish flag. You can spend 6 months in prison if you burn a Polish flag in Poland. So yeah, Poland doesn't mess around. Unlike some other countries in Europe. Yeah, Science 1941. Did I see that video about the house going kaboom in PA? Yes, I heard about that. I saw the video. Very, very sad. It happened in Western PA. I don't know the exact location, but they said there was a mine underneath it, which makes sense. There's a lot of mines in PA. I was actually going to upload a video of a trip that I took to a coal mine. There's a coal mine tour. There's a few of them in PA. I went to a coal mine tour, uh, the longest operating anthracite coal mine in the world. I was going to do a video, upload that tonight, but then I went live instead. But there's a ton of coal mines in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was the number one coal producing state for several decades. And so now West Virginia is number one, and then Wyoming is number two, and Pennsylvania is number three now. But Pennsylvania used to be number one in coal production. And, so there's coal mines that are like 100+ years old. And back in the day, they would do deep mining. They wouldn't do strip mining. They would just, because they didn't have, bulldozers. They didn't have, giant rock trucks. They didn't do strip mining. They had to do all deep mining. So there's literally probably thousands of coal mines underneath Pennsylvania. Same thing with West Virginia. Same thing with Kentucky. Same thing with Virginia, Tennessee. Lots and lots of old coal mines that are over 100 years old. These coal mines were built in the 1850s, some of them, and methane gas builds up. All kinds of gases build up and they can blow. So I think that could be what it is. It could have been something else. Maybe it was, an assassination of some kind. I mean, we don't know. The official story right now is that there was a coal mine underneath the development where this house was, and there was a gas buildup or something, and it blew, which is very possible. But in my opinion, it seems like it could have been some kind of a hit job. It seems like it could have been a hit job to me. That's what I think. But we'll see. We'll see what they say. But it seemed like a hit job. Yeah, very very terrible video, Mama of Six. Yeah, very very terrible video. Henry Carici says just got out of coal mining, 17 years in Colorado. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Colorado has a big anthracite deposit in Crested Butte, if I'm not mistaken, right? Crested Butte. Is that in Colorado? There's a big anthracite deposit there. But Pennsylvania has the most concentrated deposit of anthracite coal in the world. Okay. And it's mostly in like east central and northeastern Pennsylvania. Anthracite coal is a hard coal, so it burns very hot and clean. So people use it for heating their homes. There's still actually around here where I live, you can literally buy coal, and people have coal stoves. They still heat their homes with coal stoves. I mean, just down the road from me, there's a supplier. I can buy a load of coal if I wanted to. In fact, the house that I'm living in now, they used to have a coal stove, and it caused a fire, and it set one of the joists on fire. And actually, one of the joists in my basement, it's like charred because they had a coal stove down here, and it got too hot, because coal burns very, very hot. It burns like twice as hot as wood. So if you load too much coal, you can have a meltdown of your stove, especially like anthracite. But the northeastern and east central part of PA, that's where the largest, most concentrated deposit of anthracite coal is in the world. So that area was like heavily mined for like over 100 years. Lorna says missiles in Kyiv over the Bila Tserkva district. Okay, that's good to know. Kenny Bentley says, I'm a Kentucky coal miner. Oh, wow. Wow. That's a tough job, coal mining, especially if you go underground. Yeah, there's the Centralia in Pennsylvania. I was actually in Centralia last weekend because I wanted to see it, and there was no steam. I couldn't see any steam coming out from the ground. It seems like they've already started to take back the area. They used to have the whole town was shut down. Now you can actually drive through, and it's actually pretty busy there. A lot of cars go through that area now. Before, they used to have it completely shut down, but I didn't see any steam coming out from the burning coal. But it's still burning underground. It's still burning since 1962. And it's going to burn for like another 1,000+ years. So yeah, Centralia, it's off limits to the public. Yeah, you can actually go to Centralia now. You can drive through there. It's actually not off limits. You can actually drive through there. There's just not much to see, really. I mean, yeah, if you like hike around in the woods there, they have signs on the trees that you shouldn't be walking there, but you can drive through the town. You can see like an abandoned town. There's not much. There's still some people that live there. Yeah, coal mining is a very tough profession, or not profession, tough trade. Much respect to all the coal miners out there, man. That's a tough job, especially if you go underground. But even above ground, like strip mines are very dangerous because the trucks can tip over. They're moving the whole top of a mountain. They're removing the whole top of a mountain, and they have all these roads. The trucks can flip over and tilt on the side and tumble down the hill and stuff. So it's a dangerous job, but it's very necessary. I mean, we still use a lot of coal in this country. So I got sidetracked. So yeah, they strip mine over there. Mama of Six, where are you located again, Mama of Six? What state is that? So any information out there on these missile strikes? Can anybody verify if the missiles impacted yet or not? I'm going to stay on a little bit longer to see what happens with these missiles, whether they land or not. Um, but yeah, the coal miners from back in the day, it's absolutely crazy how they used to mine. Like when I went on that mine tour, uh, it's insane. Like, going back to like the late 1800s, before they even had electricity, they literally had like a little oil lamp on their hat, on their hard hat, and they would use like a chisel and a hammer to try to get at the coal, you know, and they didn't have any like ventilation systems to vent out gases. They would bring a canary into the mine. That's where the canary in the coal mine comes from. But I mean, it was just insane. And they wouldn't even get paid by the hour. The way that they would get paid is by the amount of coal that they take out, which back then it's like, just to get to the coal, you have to dig all these tunnels. You have to find where the coal is, where it actually is located underground. So you got to dig like smaller tunnels off to the side and try to find a little coal vein. And then you got to get that out of there. And then they used mules to get the coal out with mules. Okay. And they didn't have any oxygen coming in. They didn't have any kind of roof supports. I mean, it was just like the Wild West, basically, very dangerous back then. But it's just crazy to think about. I mean, it's just imagine you're going like hundreds of feet down underground, with no proper roof supports. I mean, you could have a cave in at any time. You could have a explosion from the gas buildup. You could suffocate. It's just crazy to think that they did that. And then your black lung disease and all that. I mean, they didn't have respirators back then. Just crazy to think about how they how they did that back then. It's very impressive. Parabellum Prepper says, if you don't like the chat, then don't watch it. Exactly. Yeah. If you don't like it, then don't watch. It's very simple. Mindy says, sorry for sidetracking. I'm a professional at that. We're talking about very serious stuff now, and it's good to break away from that for a little bit. Let's see. Where's Paul Mills? Paul Mills, he has a channel here on YouTube. It's under the same name, Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. He's still on YouTube, but he posts mostly on Rumble now. He's got a channel on Rumble, so that's where you can find him. He does most of his videos there. I'm in contact with him. We talk on the email periodically. He's got a channel on YouTube, though. It's just they shut his channel down, basically, and then he created a new one that has the same name as his old one. But they deleted his whole channel. He had like 74,000 subscribers, and they deleted it. So, very sad situation. The amount of effort that goes into a YouTube channel is just insane, and for them to just delete a channel is just sad. But it happens. Really sad situation. I feel really bad for him, because I know he put a lot of effort into it, regardless of whether you agree with him or not on certain things. Yeah, Off Grid has a good heart. I agree. New York Adventure, he does have a good heart. I agree. Yeah, it's so much work, Hudson Valley. I agree. It's a lot of work. Yeah, I was on the verge of being deleted myself just 2 weeks ago. I was on 2 strikes for all of July. For all of July, I had 2 strikes on my channel. I was literally walking a tightrope for an entire month. 5 years of hard work, thousands and thousands of hours could have been gone, but thank God I'm still here. So, I've learned to adjust myself, so I play by YouTube rules. There's nothing you can do. You're not going to change YouTube. You just got to play by the rules. If you want to stay on YouTube, you got to follow their rules. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. It's like anything in the world. when you go to work, you work for somebody. They have their own rules. You may not like the rules, but if you want to keep your job, you have to abide by them, right? It's just the way it is, unfortunately. That's the world we live in, you know. Lorna says missile launches from the Milarovo area, Tu-22s. So now we have 2 more Russian bombers launching missiles now. Tupolev 22 M3s, okay? So now that's a total of 17 bombers that have fired missiles at Ukraine. That is just absurd. Very sad situation. Warning his people, says our son is in Kyiv, just checking in to make sure Kyiv is okay. I don't know if I can verify. I did hear that there were some possibly missile impacts on Kyiv. It's still too early to tell, but I did hear something about Kyiv. So I can't verify 100% yet if there were missiles that landed in Kyiv, but they were under an air raid, and it is a good chance that they were trying to hit Kyiv. And remember, Kyiv has Patriot missiles, so I would assume that most of them are going to get shot down over there. So I think your son is probably going to be safe. But, you know, I'm going to keep your son in my prayers, and I hope everybody here in the chat, if you could just say a quick prayer to ask God to watch over all these people in Ukraine, these Ukrainian civilians that are, you know, living through this ordeal, you know, the last year, and now tonight, more missiles going. You know, just say a prayer real quick if you can for the Ukrainian people, and for the person in the chat here has a son in Kyiv. Okay, you're going to contact your son. That's good. I hope you get in contact and tell him to go underground. Stratotanker holding a pattern near Lviv. Yeah, I saw that earlier. Yeah, that's because they're monitoring. They're monitoring the missiles, so that's why they're holding. Looks like there's a AWACS. Let's see, is there an AWACS in the air? There's 2 of them here. 2 Stratotankers, but I think one of them is an AWACS plane. So yeah, there's 2 right now over eastern Poland. So you know, it's looking like a bad situation. Yeah, I'm getting air raid alerts on my phone right now. So do I have a backup of my videos? Yes. Yeah, of course, Doris. Yeah, I have all my videos. I have on 2 drives, 2 physical drives that I back up. I back up one drive to another drive. So I have 2 hard copies, and then I also have a cloud that I upload everything to a cloud. So I have 3 backups. I have 2 physical drives, and then I have a cloud backup that I move everything to. So yeah, I back up everything. You have to. It's just so much work that goes into it, you know, so you have to back it up. Jacqueline says, Greg, I just saw mass missile strike on Ukraine scheduled to hit around 4 a.m. local time. So that's going to be any minute now because they're 6 hours ahead. This is a very large attack. Yeah, very large. Hudson Valley Prepping says, I bend the crap out of them. They just bury my channel and take away subscribers and watch time. Yeah, they've done that to me over the years too. So it looks like we have another Tu-25 in the Rostov region now launching missiles towards Ukraine. So that's I guess that's the 3rd Tu-25 plus the 15 that were launched earlier. So we're up to 18 Russian bombers now. 18 bombers. This could be the largest strike yet. This could be the largest strike yet on Ukraine. Matt CC Stout says tornado warning till 10:30 p.m. for Kingsport. We don't get those here. Oh man, thanks for telling me because I have family in nearby you in that area, so I know Kingsport very well. I go there a few times a year. That's good to know. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, and I don't. I heard that there's not many tornadoes in that part of Tennessee. Yep. Um, did they launch them yet? I'm hearing that they did launch them. They're on their way. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta get a charger. My setup here is gonna die from low battery. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I had to get a charger so my computer wouldn't die. Hudson Valley Prepping says I will be back shortly. Sounds good. Yeah, we're getting crazy rain over here in PA. We're getting crazy rain, like flooding rain. Um, Mike Cross says I want to have a beer when you come to Kingsport. Yeah, there's a real couple of really good ice cream shops in your area there. I think is it Kingsport. There's this really good like ice cream shop there owned by a Mexican family. I forget the name of it, but I always go there. I don't know if that's in Kingsport or Johnson City. Um, so we have a tornado warning. Let me just pull that up on the map while we're waiting to see what's going to happen with Ukraine. We have two aerial refuelers in the air near Ukraine and on the Polish border here. Massive missile strike underway on Ukraine. Let me just share the situation here in the Tri-Cities area. We have a tornado warning. Tornado warning right now in the Tri-Cities. Let's just take a look here. I actually hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta text my family and let them know. They may not even know. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh man, let me see. So we have tornado warning for southwestern Sullivan County, east central Hawkins County, northwestern Washington County, northern Greene County. As of until 10:30 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles east of Surgeonsville or 10 miles southwest of Kingsport, moving east at 25 miles per hour. They're saying quarter-size hail. Radar has indicated rotation. The dangerous storm will be near Kingsport at 9:55, Colonial Heights 10:05, Johnson City around 10:10, Gray and Spurgeon around 10:15, and Oak Grove at 10:20. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Sullivan Gardens, Fall Branch, Warriors Path State Park, Bays Mountain Park, Tri-City Airport, and Church Hill. I've been to these areas, guys. I've been to these areas before. Warriors Path. Wow. So very serious, guys. If you're in Northeast Tennessee, the Tri-Cities area, you got a tornado heading in your direction. Let's get the radar here. Let's get the radar going. So here's that cell, or those cells that are moving towards the Tri-Cities. Looks like there's one going towards Bristol now. But you can see that it looks like one right here. Is that Johnson City there where that intersects? I can't remember. The intersection of those two roads. There's 81 there, and I forget the name of that road. But what missiles did they launch? Was it tactical nukes? I'm not hearing anything about tactical nukes right now. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival says hosting a medical certification class in September in the Southern Adirondacks. CPR, AED first aid, and wilderness first aid in one class. Oh, that's awesome. Do you want to post a link to that? I don't know if you set up like a link for that or something. You can post that in the chat, Mike, and I'll put a sticker on it so people can see. 26, yeah, Kingsport 26 and 81. That's right, 26. Yep. I have some videos from when I went to Roan Mountain. I hiked up to the top of Roan Mountain. That was cool. I mean, I drove up and then I just hiked a little bit. It's a nice area there. I really like that area. I almost moved there, actually. I was going to move there, and then I came here instead for different reasons. Storm is tracking north of Johnson City. I'd rather be hit with nor'easters than tornadoes. Adam Edwards, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. Neil says, I know one Polish lady and her son from last year when I visited Israel on a pilgrimage from my church group. She was a very nice person praying for Poland in this current war. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate that. Mike Cross says, I'm in Bristol with 4 of my kids and one in the hospital in Johnson City. Oh, okay. Kim says, I have family in Johnson City. Wow. Small world. So many people from that area. It's funny. Crazy lightning right now. I bet it is. Is there any wind? Or you still have internet? That's crazy. John Hoover says, I'm going to Ukraine on Thursday. Wow. That's awesome, man. That's be careful. We'll have to keep in touch. John, did you hear about that mine that went off near in Romania? I covered that earlier in the stream. There was a mine, a sea mine that went off, like right off the beach. So yeah, bad situation in eastern Tennessee. We got massive storms coming into eastern Tennessee. Some rotation occurring near the Tri-Cities. One of these cells is rotating. We have a tornado warning here. But right now, there's a massive missile strike underway in Ukraine. I'm hearing as many as 18 strategic bombers, 18 strategic bombers I'm hearing that have fired missiles on Ukraine. I'm trying to get updated information. We have missiles fired in the direction of Ivano-Frankivsk and Rivne. So it looks like Rivne and Ivano-Frankivsk are in the line of fire. It looks like all of Ukraine, every major city is going to get hit. We have breaking news. Explosions heard in Venetia, according to subscribers. Explosions heard in Khmelnytsky. So at least we know Khmelnytsky and Venetia, explosions heard. Explosions heard in Cherkasy. All right, so now Cherkasy, we're hearing explosions in Cherkasy. So, wow, they're hitting all these smaller cities on the outskirts, which is really weird. I guess they want to terrorize Ukraine and scare them so they feel like they're not safe anywhere. Let's see what else. Explosions heard in Zaporizhia. Explosions heard in Zaporizhia. So it looks like we're getting some preliminary information on the impacts. Rivne, Ivano-Frankivsk, Venetia, Khmelnytsky, Lutsk. Lutsk is also, there's missiles heading in the direction of Lutsk, which is really crazy. So Stout Ridge Outdoors says no. According to Twitter, airborne 5 Tu-22M3s, 3 of 5 heading for landing towards Engels Base. So yeah, that's in addition to the 15 that they already launched. I don't know if they're nuclear. I don't think so. But I guess you never know. We're gonna find out soon. Pennsylvania is under a tornado watch. Are they really? I'm not too familiar with that. I thought it was just. I mean, we're getting crazy rain here right now, but so let's see. Ninja TV OK says Rivne is apparently having missiles in their direction. Yes, I heard missiles are going towards Rivne. Seems like every city is going to get hit this time. No, it's not weird. They are going for soft targets west of the Dnipro where there is little to no anti-air. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Exactly. They're not going to go after Kyiv because they know that's where the Patriot missiles are, so they're not going to go there. It's just weird that they would go after like Venetia or Lutsk. There's nothing there. I mean, I could understand like Mykolaiv or Odessa or Rivne. Those cities are larger. Poltava, places like that where there's actually something there. But like Lutsk, I mean, what's in Lutsk, or what's in Venetia? I mean, these are small cities. I think it's just at this point, it's just to terrorize them. I think. Um, New York Adventure says, I'm lucky there were no tornadoes warnings when I had that strong thunderstorm yesterday. Glad to hear that. See you later, Adam Edwards. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, we're hearing about missile impacts all across Ukraine right now. Preliminary information coming in. So, unfortunately, I can't share any footage here. John says those cities may be military staging areas. Yeah, they very well could be. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. They could be for sure. I think it's a combination. The Ukrainian Air Force is saying that there's currently missiles near Khmelnytsky. Yeah, so it's explosions heard in Cherkasy. I'm trying to see if there's any other information here. So they're all, looks like the missiles are landing right now, or they just landed. Um, so if you're just tuning in, go back to the beginning of the stream. I covered all the breaking news. Right now, we're just hanging out and seeing what happens with this missile strike on Ukraine. As many as possibly 15 to 20 Russian strategic bombers have launched missiles at Ukraine. 15 to 20. So that's a massive amount. That could be upwards of 200 missiles. Could be the largest strike yet. Could be the largest strike yet. So I don't know if anybody's hearing anything else, but my sources are saying just a few cities got hit so far. Tornado warning is now until 11 p.m. for Kingsport. They just changed it. Wow. So that means, wow, that's really bad. Yeah, it looks like there's a second line of storms coming in. There's a second line of storms. You see the first line here, and then looks like there's another line right behind it. So, and there looks like two tornado cells. You can see these red watches here. They have yellow and then they have red. The red is the tornadoes. So there's two cells going towards the Tri-Cities right now. And then there's another line over here to the west near Middlesbrough. There's another line of storms out there. So that could even also cause tornadoes. Um, let's see here. Want to just take a break for a minute from that, and I want to share something with you guys. Israel just launched a new submarine. It's the INS Draken, and this submarine is going to be bigger. It's going to be bigger than their current submarines, and many people are thinking that it could be nuclear capable. That they might be able to launch ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads on it. So that's pretty interesting. Um, Matt says there's a train sound outside. Oh man, that's bad, dude. It's amazing that you still have reception. Uh, it's amazing that you still have a train sound. Is definitely not a good sign. Tel Aviv major explosion being reported in mass now. Wow. What is the best flight tracker to use? Depends if you want it free or paid. 2 strato tankers near Lviv. Yep, that's right. That's right. We have 2 strato tankers near Lviv right now doing loops here. So yeah, let's see. We got 2 of them. This is a massive missile strike, guys. Massive missile strike. 18 planes, 18 bomber planes launching missiles at Ukraine right now. This could be the largest one yet. New York Adventurer says 5,000 people without power in Tennessee. Jacqueline says, Greg, check what I sent you. The outage number is definitely going to climb. Lorna says, powerful explosion in Lviv right now. Powerful explosion in Lviv. Wow. Oh, yeah. Somebody just, it looks like Mike Cross, he sent me a video on my Twitter of the storm here. Let me get that up on the screen for you guys. Hold on. He sent me a video. One of our subscribers here from Tennessee shared a video of the lightning here. Let me share this with you guys. Wow, look at that. This is in northeastern Tennessee. Um, so we have a powerful explosion that just went off in Lviv. And we have explosions in Vinnytsia, Khmelnytsky, and a bunch of other cities in Ukraine. Rivne, Lutsk, Cherkasy. Explosions all over now. Looks like we already have breaking news that several people have already been killed. Wow. Uh, Initial reports is that several people have already been killed. Oh, man. Wow. That's really sad situation. If you're just tuning into the live stream, you can go back to the beginning, and I covered all the breaking news at the beginning. So Rodney Middleton, thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. Cheers, Greg, for your live stream, and have a coffee on me, mate. Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that very much. Nick P is asking, "What do you about joining the local OEM?" I just volunteered. I haven't volunteered to my local Office of Emergency Management, but I think that's probably a good idea. I think that's probably a good idea. So far, Lviv is close to Poland. Yeah, Lviv is just a few miles from Poland. Yeah, look right here. It's just looks like I've never actually been to Lviv, but it looks like it's about 50 miles. So it's a good distance away. Um, but it is very close. It's right there. This is the Polish border right here. This line right here, and here's Lviv. So we're looking at probably about, I don't know, 30 to 50 miles, something like that. Maybe less. Looks like more like 30 miles, I would say. So it's pretty close. Um, so Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations is currently leaving Moscow. Could be airborne command. Yeah, let's see. Let me just check some other stuff here. Let me check some other stuff here. Yeah, I see that. Yep. Ilyushin 76 TD. Yep. There we have it. Yeah, so we have a Russian airborne command post in the air, 2 American AWACS planes patrolling. So, yeah, this is a serious strike, guys. This is a very serious strike. 18 bomber planes we can count, each one potentially carrying a dozen missiles each. That's pushing 200 missiles. It's huge. Thank you again, Rodney Middleton. I appreciate your donation. Thank you so much. What do you think those strato tankers are doing? They may not necessarily be strato tankers. It's just that they're under the call sign of a strato tanker, so they could actually be like an AWACS plane, because they're the same. They have the same, like frame. You know what I mean? Um, they may not actually be strato tankers. They may actually be like radar planes. And what they're doing is they're gathering data on the missiles to see if the missiles are coming towards Poland or not, where they're coming from. What they're doing is they're giving Ukraine information on where those missiles are heading, what direction, how fast. They're basically providing critical intelligence to the Ukrainians, because these planes have radars on them. So they're under the call sign of a strato tanker, but they're probably really AWACS planes. And what they're doing is they're feeding information to Ukraine, telling them where the missiles are, how fast they're going, where they're going, stuff like that. They're functioning as an airborne radar. And then here we have the Russian airborne command post that just took off from Moscow. So yeah, it's a serious strike tonight. Very serious. This could be the biggest strike of the whole war so far. It could be very serious. So, what's going on, K. Paul? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Lorna says Olga was spot on. Yeah, Olga is always spot on. She's great. She's awesome. She's always very accurate. Maybe 40 miles to the Polish border. Yeah, Beads and Beans says, is Russia playing I'm Not Touching You to Poland? I think that's what they're doing. Yeah. Lviv is a major hub for supplies. That's right. It is. Andrew Ebert says, I'm a CERT volunteer. The Yellow King says, I lived in the Poconos for 20 years, did the coal mine tour in Lackawanna County. We actually went into the mountain in a coal car. Yes, I think I went on the same one as you. I went on the number 9 coal mine near Jim Thorpe. That's the one I went to. Oh, wow. K. Paul's getting treatment for Lyme disease. Wow. That's serious, man. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. I was wondering why you disappeared. Now it makes sense. You were probably very, very ill. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. That's a very serious situation. I hope that the treatment is working, and I hope you're recovering very fast. So I think I'm going to wind down the live stream now. I don't know if I'm going to restart it or not. What do you guys think if I should restart it? I have to go and do a couple of things. I have to do some things. It's getting late. I have to eat and do a couple of things here. So I don't know if I should shut the stream down and then restart it or what. What do you guys think? Maybe do a video update later when the missiles land. What's going on, Earth Angel Anna? Jack Cull says, my grandfather was a coal miner in South Wales. My mother-in-law was a miner in PA. Yeah, there's a big coal deposit in the UK. I heard about that. I heard there's a big coal deposit in Wales. I heard about that. Some people are saying restart it. Some people saying I'm good for the night. Some people are mixed feelings. Andrew says do a video update later. New York says I'm getting ready for work in the morning. Restart. Okay. So shut down, take care of business, and let the weather in Ukraine play out some more. Okay, that's a good idea. With that being said, I might restart the stream. I'm not sure yet. 100%. I might restart it. I might just restart it and leave it on. I'm not going to be able to attend, so it's just going to be like an open chat. If you guys want to hang out and talk in the chat, that's fine. But I'm not going to be able to check on the stream for probably another hour, if that's okay with you guys, because I got to go and do some stuff. Deja Vu says, all good. Take the night off. Pray for Ukraine. Yes, we have to pray for Ukraine. Matt, I hope you stay safe down there. So I think I'm gonna restart the stream, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it up, but I'm not gonna be back on the stream for another hour or so. I'll pop in like an hour and see what's going on, but I have to go do some things. But I'll leave it on. If you want to chat amongst yourselves, I'll leave it on. I'll put the flight tracker on, and you can watch the flight tracker. With that being said, Doris says, get some sleep. Yeah, I definitely need some sleep for sure. Thank you, Doris. I appreciate that. Yeah, diesel 4x4s are the way to go. Stay safe up down there, Matt. Happy birthday, Mindy. So thank you guys for all your support. And that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to restart the stream. If you're just tuning in, you can rewind and go back for all the emergency news, the headlines. But that's pretty much it for now. So thanks to all the moderators. You guys are awesome. Mama of Six, Jacqueline James, Lorna. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. So have a good night. And I'm going to restart the stream, but I'm not going to go on to that stream for a little while. I have some things to do. So if you want to chat amongst yourselves, that's fine. Rodney Middleton, catch you later. Davis08, see you later. Blair, have a good night. Mike Cross, thanks for that video. Michael Van says Australia here. Teresa says thanks for the updates. Mindy says I'll check it in the morning, Greg. I always do. Thank you, Mindy. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to try to get some rest. I have to get some rest. So take care, guys. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.